The following is a special presentation of Tony Kurre Radio.
Along with Michael Coleman, he's the CEO of the Heart of Alabama Food Bank. This is called Bite by Bite. I'm Tony Kurre. We do a little segment every single week, a little podcast talking about food insecurities and how we can make this a better place to live. In the great state of Alabama, they serve 35 counties. American Institute of Baking, AIB, which is known now as?
Yeah, AIB International. Yep. Yeah, it came around in 1919. And now it's basically the international standard for food safety inspections for organizations. One of the things that we're required to do is by the Feeding America is that once every 2 years, we have to have an AIB inspection. Mm-hmm. And we recently had ours. And so I thought it was a good opportunity just to talk about a little bit about food safety and the amount of effort that's put into it. Primarily because, lots of times we think around our house, we're told don't leave raw chicken on the counter.
Sure.
And if you get salmonella, make sure you cook your food at proper temperature. But there's so much more to it because we are constantly going through training to understand about temperature control to the point that we have 5 different, we have 7 freezers and coolers combined. And so our temperature gauges are actually online so that even on the weekend, it's the middle of the night, if our temperature drops below the standard, even for just a second, we get notified, hey, there's a problem. Mm-hmm. And, we can rush in and save that food. And because we understand that, when we're transporting it from our freezer, it can only be out 30 minutes without some type of further help. Because if it thaws out and then people refreeze it, then you could have germs and that's a safety problem, bacteria. So we just do so many things to make sure that the food supply is well maintained. And I just want our audience to know that how much effort is put into it, because I want them to have confidence that if they ever need to use a food bank or if they are in just regular grocery stores and things to have an appreciation, because we have, I think, the USDA, and I get it. Some people are like, oh, the USDA and government. But let me tell you, they really serve a purpose. I'll give you one good example. We recently took a truck. We picked up, we get donated chicken from the Tyson plant in Eufaula, Alabama, and we picked up a truckload of it. And what they do is they start killing on Monday, and they'll kill a certain amount, and then they'll have extra or miscut parts, and they do that all the week, and then we go pick it up on Friday. Well, some of the tubs were just killed the day before. Some of them were killed 4 days prior. But when you kill a chicken, it's got to stay under 41 degrees, and it's got a certain amount of days before that chicken has to be frozen or you can't process it.
Sure.
So we brought it back here. It happened to be a long weekend, so we had to drive it back to Georgia to have it processed into small bags that we could distribute out to families. When we got there, the USDA inspector ended up taking 8 of our tubs of chicken, and we had to dispose them. I actually had to pay to have them disposed of because he said, no, you're past the date.
Wow.
Any kind of food processing company, they have to have a USDA person on site. The company actually pays for that. And he has total authority over that. Anything he says doesn't fly. And while that's aggravating, I'm really glad that we keep our food system safe. We do that with beef. We do that with chicken, on and on and on. I know a lot of people are hearing right now that the next pandemic may be bird flu. And
yep.
You have to kill a lot. It's getting into other animals. It's getting into cows. It's moving on to people. And so lots of times when a flock gets bird flu, you have to destroy everything that's there. So, those kind of things are a real problem. Another thing we do, though, in food banking is that we monitor all the food that's distributed so that if there's a recall, and we probably get 4 recalls a month from, sometimes they're voluntary, sometimes they're involuntary, but we know where all the product is from that lot, and we can distribute that warning out to our people to make sure they don't distribute out. Because think about it. You have people that are coming to our agencies in different neighborhoods across 35 counties, and they're in need. And the last thing that they are thinking about is this food safe? They are hungry. Their families are hungry. They need this food. And we want them to rest assured that if we're distributing it, it's because we've done everything that's necessary in order to keep this food safe. So we have all these practices put in place. We have all these different monitorings in terms of keeping the floors clean. It even with AIB, they even inspect the outside, and we get the few things that we did get docked on. One of them was we had a weed that was growing up against our building on the outside. And so they say you cannot have any grass or weeds touching the building because it invites rodents, it invites bugs, anything like that. So we got a superior score. It's the first time. I'm very proud of that. It's the first time we've done that. The staff did an incredible job. I mean, they were the ones that worked so hard on this. Did very well. And some of the things we got dinged on, like one of our freezers had a little condensation on it. Yeah. So bottom line, it's a ding. If it's a ding, it's a ding.
It's a ding, yeah.
Yeah. But we moved the idea that we're processing 30 million pounds of food this year and that nobody's been reported sick. We've gotten all the recalls out. We know for a fact that our food is being stored safely. It's being processed. It's being distributed safely. It's not just to our agencies, but then they're storing it safely and then distributing to their people. I feel so good about that, but I just want people to understand there's a lot of cost associated with that. There's a lot of training that goes on. So don't think of a food bank as just a big room with some food in there. I mean, we are constantly monitoring dates on things, ensuring safety. And I would just say it's a priority over all things. Last thing I'll say is we have high level trained staff that inspect these. So these are not just regular food handling qualifications. These are people that are management qualified, 30 level qualified, to where we can take seafood, any kind of food, and we can navigate that safely. And that was all validated by our inspection. It always you always think, yeah, I'm doing a good job, but until an outside agency comes in and kind of gives you that stamp and says, yeah, you're superior in this area. And so again, very proud of the staff, but again, I want to all the people we try to help. But that's not just going on here at the Heart of Alabama Food Bank. That's every single food bank in this nation is working extremely hard to elevate food safety, because we know that we're serving a vulnerable population, and they count on us to do the little things to make sure that the food put in their mouth is not going to make them sick.
Well, congratulations, and now go cut your grass.
Thank you. That's right.
I will say this. We always had this thing called QSA. It was called Quality Service Assurance. And it would be someone that would come into the fast food restaurants. I was working at Kentucky Fried Chicken. And we would know, and they wouldn't obviously announce when they were coming. It's where you get your food scores. Whenever you walk in an Arby's or McDonald's, you'll see that score on.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And anything below like a 90 is horrible. I mean, you're expected to, it's not like an A in school. You're expected to do perfect, because that means you're touching food and doing food.
That's right.
And at Kentucky Fried Chicken, we got a 68 at our store, and out of the 32 points, 30 of them were against me. I had dropped a piece of chicken on the floor and picked it back up and put it back in the tray. I was wearing the manager's tie. I think I dropped an F-bomb up in the front. I mean, they were all things. And and I got let go of my services, and then I got hired back 3 days later because I was the best damn chicken man at Kentucky Fried Chicken, and I was having a bad day. But I remember I set a record for QSA. So congratulations, my man. Good job.
Thank you.
We'll do it again next week. All right.
Absolutely.
This has been a special presentation of Tony Curry Radio.